Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about fictional characters that I love the most. And of course, this list is completely subjective. There is going to be some spoilers for some of the media that I talk about in this video, but it's not going to be super spoilery. More just like general spoilers if you haven't watched or read these things already. But just warning you guys ahead of time. This is just my opinion. Feel free to agree, disagree, leave it in the comments down below. Let's get started. Alright, so starting off this list, we have Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. If you have not read To Kill a Mockingbird, please do. It's one of my favorite books ever. I actually read it for the first time in 10th grade, and it is still one of my favorite books ever. So yeah, it's really good. And Atticus is one of my favorite characters in fiction, because he's just like so level-headed. You know, he's a lawyer. He defends people who are being falsely accused, and he doesn't let other people's opinions of him change who he is and what he wants to do. He's also a single father trying to raise his kids right. And I think that that was very hard during the time period that this book was written. But I think that he did a great job at raising Jem and Scout, even though he was busy with work. I feel like he made time for them. And I feel like he taught them great lessons about life and how to be good human beings. Next up, we have Severus Snape from Harry Potter. Now, this might be surprising to some of you, because if you watched the Harry Potter movies, which I have, obviously, then you know that Severus Snape is not portrayed in the best light, like he's portrayed as a very angry man. And when I first read the Harry Potter series, I didn't like Severus Snape either. I thought that he was an awful person. But after reading the series again and again, and again, and watching the movies over and over and over, now he's one of my favorite characters. I don't know why, I just like his dry humor. I like how sarcastic he is. I like how, he can be very sweet sometimes. And I also like the fact that he has a tragic backstory. And when you find out the truth about his character, you kind of just want to hug him and be like, it's okay. And also shout out to Alan Rickman, who played Severus Snape in the movies, because without him, I don't think that I would love Severus Snape as much as I do. No. 3 on this list is Amara Lane from the TV show Supergirl. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Amara is probably one of the most problematic fictional characters that I love. But there's something about her character that I just can't help but love. She is a very complex character, and she goes through so much character development throughout the series, especially in the later seasons. There's definitely some questionable things that she does in the earlier seasons, but by the end of the series, she redeems herself so much. And I feel like she makes up for it in such a big way. And I think that Melissa Benoist did a fantastic job portraying Amara. Also, I just love her style. Like she always looks so good. Another reason why she's probably one of my favorite female characters in fiction. Next up, we have Katniss Everdeen from The Hunger Games. I don't know why I chose this photo, because she does not look like this at all in The Hunger Games. Oh my God. Anyway, I love Katniss Everdeen. She's another very strong female character in fiction. She's very headstrong, very independent. She's willing to do whatever it takes to protect her family and the people that she loves. And I think that that's really admirable. And I think that Jennifer Lawrence did an amazing job portraying her, especially because when they were filming The Hunger Games, Jennifer was in her early 20s, but she had to play a character who was in her late teens. So I think that that was a very impressive feat. No, 5 on this list is Dr. Gregory House. I love Dr. Gregory House. Again, another sarcastic, dry humor type of character. But he's very intelligent, very cunning. He knows how to get under people's skin. And I feel like that sometimes he says things without thinking about it. And then he regrets it. But I think that makes him very human. And it makes him very relatable, because sometimes we all say things without thinking about it, and then we regret it. Also, I love the dynamic between him and James Wilson. They are literally my favorite duo in fiction. They are so cute. I love them so much. Okay, next up, we have Hermione Granger. I know I'm late to the party on this one, but I just recently got into the Harry Potter fandom, and now I'm obsessed. And Hermione is, of course, one of the main characters. But I feel like out of the trio, she's the one that gets less attention. And I think that's really sad, because she's an amazing character. She's very smart. She's also very brave. Sometimes she has a hard time admitting when she needs help, but I think that's okay, because no one can be perfect. And I also love her fashion sense in the later books. Like she starts off pretty frumpy, but then in the later books, she starts wearing nicer clothes, and I love it. Next up, we have Draco Malfoy. Okay, hear me out. I know that Draco is very problematic. He does a lot of awful things in the series, but I think that that's kind of the point. I think that J.K. Rowling wrote him to be an example of how someone who is raised in an environment where they constantly told that they better than everyone else, and that they should look down on everyone else, and treat them poorly, how that can affect someone's mental state and their overall personality. And I think that he's a good example of that. And I also think that Tom Felton did a great job portraying Draco Malfoy, because he played him in such a way that you can't help but feel bad for him sometimes, even though he did awful things. Next up, we have Princess Diana from The Crown. Now, I know that The Crown isn't real. It's a dramatization of real events, but I've been watching it for like 2 years now, so I kind of consider it to be real in a sense. Anyway, Princess Diana is such a beautiful character. I wish that I could have her hair, her style, her mannerisms, anything. I just wish that I could have her. I also think that Emma Corrin did an amazing job portraying her in Season 4. And I also love the casting of Elizabeth Debicki in Season 5. Both of them were great. And the last character on this list is Hannibal Lecter from The Silence of the Lambs. Don't ask me why, because I don't know why I picked this picture either. But anyway, Hannibal Lecter is a very interesting character to say the least. He's very mysterious. He's very intelligent, but he also is a serial killer. So I don't know. There's just something about him that's so intriguing. Also, shout out to Anthony Hopkins for playing him in the movie, because he was absolutely amazing. So yeah, those are some of my favorite characters in fiction. Again, this list is completely subjective. These are just my opinions. Feel free to agree, disagree. Leave it in the comments down below. Let me know what your favorite characters in fiction are. I always love talking about characters with you guys. So yeah, let me know. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we recounting down our picks for the top 10 fictional characters that we can't live without. Now, these are characters who have made such an impact in books, movies, TV shows, anime, or video games that if they didn't exist, we would be worse off people because of it. We all know someone who has done something that inspires us, teaches us life lessons, or helps us through hard times. But what about characters that make us want to be better people? These are the characters that we can't live without. Starting off this countdown at number 10, we have Elle from Death Note. Elle is a genius detective who takes on the Kira case, investigating Light Yagami, who is killing criminals with the Death Note. Elle is definitely one of those characters that you love to hate. He's incredibly smart and observant, but he's also lazy and has some weird habits like eating sweets, drinking soda, and sitting in a weird posture. But despite his flaws, Elle is a very compelling character and one of the best detectives in anime history. Even though he may not be the most conventional hero, Elle is still a great role model, as he shows us that it's okay to be different, and that intelligence and observation skills are just as important as physical strength. Elle teaches us that we should never give up when facing adversity, and to always strive to be the best version of ourselves. Coming in at No. 9, we have Hermione Granger from Harry Potter. Hermione is one of the most iconic witches of all time and a true role model for young women everywhere. She is brave, intelligent, loyal, and compassionate, and she uses her powers for good. Hermione is a powerful witch, but she doesn't just use her magic to get ahead. Instead, she uses it to help others and make the world a better place. She is a strong believer in equality and fights against prejudice and discrimination. Hermione is a true hero, and she teaches us that we should always stand up for what we believe, and no matter what the odds are stacked against us. Coming in at No. 8, we have Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird. Atticus is a lawyer in the American South who defends a black man who has been falsely accused of raping a white woman. In the face of intense racism and hatred, Atticus remains steadfast in his belief in justice and equality. He is a true hero and a role model for us all, teaching us that we should always stand up for what is right, no matter how difficult it may be. Atticus is a patient and understanding father who is able to guide his children through the complexities of the adult world. He teaches Scout to see the good in everyone and to treat others with respect and dignity. Atticus is a true gentleman and a role model for men everywhere. He is a man of integrity, honor, and courage. Coming in at number 7, we have Elizabeth Swann from Pirates of the Caribbean. Elizabeth is a strong-willed and independent woman who refuses to be defined by her gender roles. She is a true pioneer for women's rights and a role model for girls everywhere. Elizabeth is a fierce warrior who is able to hold her own in a male-dominated world. She is a skilled sword fighter and is not afraid to stand up for herself and those she loves. Elizabeth is also a compassionate and caring person who is always willing to help others. She is a true humanitarian and a role model for us all, teaching us that we should always strive to make the world a better place. Taking the 6th spot, we have Sakura Haruno from Naruto. Sakura is a kunoichi from Konohagakure who becomes a medical ninja and eventually the wife of Sasuke Uchiha. Sakura is a very strong kunoichi, but she is also very kind and compassionate. She is always willing to help out her friends and comrades, even if it puts her own safety at risk. Sakura is a true hero, and she teaches us that it's okay to be soft and feminine as long as you do and let it make you weak. Sakura is a great example of a kunoichi who is able to overcome her weaknesses and become a powerful force to be reckoned with. She proves that anyone can become strong if they put their mind to it. Coming in at No. 5, we have Katniss Everdeen from The Hunger Games. Katniss is a strong-willed and independent young woman who is willing to do whatever it takes to protect her family and loved ones. She is a true role model for young women everywhere, showing them that they can be strong and capable, and that they should never be afraid to speak out against injustice. Katniss is also a great example of how one person can make a difference. Despite the odds being stacked against her, she never gives up, and she always fights for what she believes in. This is a great lesson for us all, showing us that we should never be afraid to stand up for what we believe, and no matter how difficult it may seem. Taking the 5th spot, we have Gon Freaks from Hunter x Hunter. Gon is a young boy who sets out on a journey to become a hunter like his father. Along the way, he makes many friends and learns valuable life lessons. Gon is a very optimistic and cheerful person, which helps him through tough times. He is also very determined and never gives up in the face of adversity. Gon is a true hero, and he teaches us that no matter how dark things may seem, there is always hope for a brighter tomorrow. Gon is a great example of a young man who is able to achieve his dreams with hard work and determination. He shows us that anything is possible if we set our minds to it. Coming in at No. 4, we have Hermione Jean Granger from Harry Potter. Hermione is the brightest witch of her age and a true role model for young witches everywhere. She is brave, intelligent, and loyal, and she uses her powers for good. Hermione is also a strong believer in equality and fights against prejudice and discrimination. She is a true hero, and she teaches us that we should always stand up for what we believe, and no matter what the odds are stacked against us. Hermione is also a great friend and a true humanitarian. She is always willing to help others and make the world a better place. She is a positive influence on those around her, and she teaches us that we should always try to be the best versions of ourselves. Coming in at No. 3, we have Asta from Black Clover. Asta is a young boy who dreams of becoming the Wizard King, despite being born without any magic powers in a world where magic is everything. Asta is a true role model for those who feel like they don't fit in. He teaches us that we should never give up on our dreams, no matter how difficult it may seem. Asta is also a great example of how hard work and determination can help us overcome any obstacle. He is a true hero, and he inspires us to be the best versions of ourselves. Asta is also a great friend and a true humanitarian. He is always willing to help others and put their needs before his own. He is a positive influence on those around him, and he teaches us that we should always strive to be kind and compassionate towards others. Coming in at No. 2, we have Goku from Dragon Ball. Goku is a Saiyan who was sent to Earth as a baby to destroy it, but instead became the strongest superhero on the planet. Goku is a true role model for us all, teaching us that we should always strive to be the best versions of ourselves and never give up in the face of adversity. Goku is also a great example of how hard work and determination can help us achieve our goals. He is a true hero, and he inspires us to be courageous and never back down from a challenge. Goku is also a great father and husband. He is a loving and supportive family man who always puts the needs of his family first. He teaches us that it is important to have a strong support system and to never take our loved ones for granted. Finally, coming in at our top spot, we have Naruto Uzumaki from Naruto. Naruto is an orphan who becomes the strongest ninja in the village, despite being underestimated and ridiculed by his peers. Naruto is a true role model for those who feel like they don't fit in. He teaches us that we should never give up on our dreams, no matter how difficult it may seem. Naruto is also a great example of how hard work and determination can help us overcome any obstacle. He is a true hero, and he inspires us to be the best versions of ourselves. Naruto is also a great friend and a true humanitarian. He is always willing to help others and make the world a better place. He is a positive influence on those around him, and he teaches us that we should always strive to be kind and compassionate towards others. That's all the time we have for today's video. This is one of the toughest lists to put together because iconic characters are so subjective. It's really hard to narrow it down to just 10. And I also didn't want to do anything like, Marvel or Disney related, because that would have been too easy. So here's my list of the 10 most iconic fictional characters of all time. Let's go. Number 10. Lisbeth Salander from The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. You don't have to be a bookworm to hear about this character. The series is insanely popular with both readers and moviegoers alike. Lisbeth Salander is a computer hacker, and she has more than 200 aliases. So she's constantly changing her identity and reinventing herself. She's incredibly smart, self-sufficient, and independent. And though she was born with many obstacles in life, including an abusive father and institutionalization, she still managed to learn how to adapt to any situation by thinking outside of the box. 9. Bilbo Baggins from The Hobbit. Bilbo may not be the most powerful or fierce character out there, but he is an extremely iconic character. Bilbo Baggins is famous for his role in The Hobbit, as well as being the burglar who helped Gandalf and the dwarves reclaim their treasure from Smaug. What makes him so iconic is that he is the everyday guy who goes on an extraordinary adventure and becomes a hero without knowing it. He isn't superhuman or even particularly courageous, but he tries his best when he is faced with danger and stands up for what he believes in. And we all know that no matter who you are, that takes courage. 8. Anna from Frozen. Even if you don't have kids or have never seen the movie Frozen, you probably still know who Anna is. And yes, she is part of a popular Disney movie, but she's important enough that she deserves to be mentioned here. While the majority of people think Elsa is the main character in Frozen, Anna is actually the protagonist of the film. She's brave, selfless, and determined, and those qualities make her an amazing role model for kids. It is also worth noting that Anna breaks the mold for female Disney princesses because she doesn't wait for a prince to save her. Instead, she rescues herself and her sister. Number 7. Jay Gatsby from The Great Gatsby. Out of all the characters in The Great Gatsby, Jay is definitely the most intriguing. While some believe that Jay Gatsby was actually James Gatz, others believe that Jay Gatsby was the real name and James Gatz was the alias. This duality is what makes the character so interesting. Throughout the entire novel, we are trying to figure out exactly who Jay Gatsby is and where he came from. But even after finding out these things, it's hard to get a read on the man. That's why he's such an iconic character. He represents the mystery within the American dream and the lengths people will go to in order to achieve it. No. 6. Amy March from Little Women. There are so many strong female characters in the book Little Women that it's difficult to pick just one. But Amy is one of the most memorable characters in all of literature, which is why she's no 6 on this list. Amy is one of 4 sisters and the youngest of the bunch. She's artistic, spirited, and headstrong, but also very immature at times. Because of this, she often does things to try and prove herself, like sneaking out to parties. But despite her flaws, Amy is still a good person. And as the story progresses, she matures and learns the importance of family and friends. No. 5. Ellen Ripley from Alien. If you've watched any of the Alien movies, then you know Ellen Ripley is one of the most badass characters in cinematic history. She is intelligent, resourceful, and capable, but also compassionate and empathetic. One of the reasons why she is such an iconic character is that she had to overcome so much adversity. In the first film alone, she single-handedly defeats the alien and saves humanity from extinction. In the second film, she awakens from cryosleep to find herself the only crew member left alive aboard the Sulaco. And in the third film, she is cloned against her will and forced to fight a queen alien. But through all of this, she still remains hopeful and never gives up. Number 4. Ron Weasley from Harry Potter. If you're a Harry Potter fan, then you know that Ron Weasley is one of the most integral characters in the series. He's funny, loyal, and brave, and he's always there for Harry when he needs a friend. Ron is also one of the most relatable characters in the Harry Potter series, because he deals with a lot of the same problems that we all deal with: insecurity, jealousy, anger. But despite these flaws, he's still a good person, and he always tries to do the right thing. No. 3. Severus Snape from Harry Potter. We all know that Snape is one of the most complex characters in the Harry Potter series, which is why he's so iconic. For the majority of the books, he's portrayed as a villain, but later in the series, we find out that he was actually a good guy all along. Snape is also one of the most tragic characters in the series, because he lost the love of his life, Lily Evans, to Voldemort. This, along with his difficult childhood, caused him to become bitter and resentful. But despite all of his pain, he still managed to find love again with a woman named Helen. No. 2. Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. Elizabeth Bennet is one of the most iconic characters in all of literature. She's beautiful, intelligent, and witty. And she's also very independent and strong-willed. Unlike other women of her time, Elizabeth doesn't need a man to make her happy. She knows that she can take care of herself, and that she doesn't need anyone else to complete her. This was a radical idea during the 1800s when the novel was written, but it's something that we're all familiar with today. That's why Elizabeth is such an iconic character. She represents the new age of feminism and the idea that women don't need men to be happy. No. 1. Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird. There's no denying that Atticus Finch is one of the most beloved characters in all of literature. He is a lawyer who defends a black man wrongly accused of raping a white woman in the South during the 1930s. Despite the intense racism and prejudice he faces, Atticus doesn't give up. He knows that his client is innocent, and he's determined to prove it. Atticus is also a father who tries to teach his kids about compassion and empathy. In one of the most famous scenes in the novel, he explains to his son Jem why it's important to understand other people's perspectives. Atticus is such an iconic character because he represents the ideal of justice and equality for all people. I know there are so many iconic characters that could have made it on this list, so let me know in the comments below which character you think is the most iconic of all time. In my last video, I did the definitive ranking of my favorite fictional female characters. And since this is a Harry Potter channel, it's only fair that I do a definitive ranking of my favorite fictional male characters today. It was actually really hard to narrow it down to just 10, but I managed to do it. So without further ado, here are my top 10 favorite male characters in fiction. Number 10. Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. Aragorn, also known as Strider or Thorongil, is one of the most important characters in the Lord of the Rings universe. Aragorn is descended from kings and has a rightful claim to the throne of Gondor. However, he chooses to live among the people of the North as a Ranger of the North, fighting against Sauron's forces for many years before his true identity is revealed. I love how Aragorn is a strong and noble leader who is respected by all who know him. He is also a skilled warrior and tracker, and he is one of the main forces in the defeat of Sauron. He is also a romantic figure who is destined to rule Gondor. Aragorn is one of the most well-developed characters in Lord of the Rings, and his story is one of the most compelling. Number 9. Draco Malfoy from Harry Potter. Draco Malfoy might be one of the most recognizable characters on this list. When we first meet him, he is introduced as a spoiled rich kid who is not afraid to show his prejudice against Hermione because she is a Muggle-born witch. But as the series progresses, we learn that there is more to him than meets the eye. In Chamber of Secrets, he's forced by his mother to make amends with Ron and Harry after he tried to kill them. In the 6th book, Harry finds out that it was actually Voldemort who gave Draco the task of killing Dumbledore, which leads me to believe that if it wasn't for the influence of his family, he could have been a good wizard. Even though he is a Death Eater in the 7th book, he shows remorse for his actions and doesn't seem too happy about them. He even helps Harry and the gang at certain points, and later becomes an Auror like his father. I think what I like about Draco is that even though he can be an arrogant jerk sometimes, he is not inherently evil, and I think that makes him a pretty good character. Number 8. Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird. Atticus Finch is the epitome of a gentleman, and one of the most morally sound characters ever created. Atticus is a lawyer who defends a black man who has been falsely accused of raping a white woman in the American South. Despite the intense racism and prejudice he faces from his community, Atticus remains steadfast in his belief in justice and equality. Atticus is a wise and compassionate man who teaches his children to see the good in everyone and to stand up for what is right. He is also a skilled lawyer who is able to expose the hypocrisy and bigotry of the white community. Atticus is a tragic hero who is unable to save his client from the wrath of the racist mob, but his courage and integrity remain an inspiration to all who know him. 7. Loki from Marvel. Loki is the god of mischief and one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. Son of the All-Father Odin and the adoptive brother of Thor, Loki is often characterized by his cunning and manipulative nature. He is a master of magic and illusion, and he uses his powers to cause chaos and destruction wherever he goes. Despite his villainous reputation, Loki is a complex character with a tragic backstory. He was always treated as an outsider by the other gods because of his origins as a frost giant. This led to him developing a deep resentment towards his adoptive family and the people of Asgard. This resentment eventually boiled over, and Loki revealed his true colors when he unleashed the frost giants upon Asgard, starting a war between the two races. Though he was ultimately defeated by Thor, Loki's betrayal was a shocking and devastating blow to the people of Asgard. No. 6. Severus Snape from Harry Potter. Snape is one of the most intriguing and controversial characters in the Harry Potter universe. A brilliant but troubled wizard, he serves as both a teacher and a double agent throughout the series. His dedication to his deceased wife, Lily, and his unwavering loyalty to Dumbledore make him a complex and sympathetic figure. Snape is a highly skilled potioneer and a master of defensive magic. He is also a gifted spy who is able to operate undercover for years without being detected. His mastery of the art of deception makes him a formidable opponent, and his knowledge of the dark arts makes him a dangerous enemy. Number 5. Caspian from the Chronicles of Narnia. Caspian is a young Narnian prince who is forced to flee his home when his evil uncle Miraz usurps the throne. With the help of the Pevensie children, Caspian eventually regains the throne and restores peace to Narnia. Caspian is a brave and honorable leader who is willing to sacrifice everything to protect his people. He is also a loyal friend who is always there to help those in need. Caspian is a flawed character who makes mistakes along the way, but he is ultimately redeemed by his courage and his determination to do what is right. He is a true hero who inspires those around him to be their best selves. No. 4. Sirius Black from Harry Potter. Sirius Black is one of the most beloved characters in the Harry Potter universe. A loyal and courageous wizard, he is best known for being Harry's godfather and for his membership in the Marauders, a group of 4 close friends who attended Hogwarts together. Sirius is also the last surviving member of the Potters, making him one of the most important figures in the fight against Voldemort. Throughout the series, Sirius is portrayed as a charming and charismatic character who is always ready with a joke or a playful quip. Despite the darkness that surrounds him, Sirius is ultimately a symbol of hope and resilience in the face of adversity. His story is one of tragedy and loss, but also of love and redemption. No. 3. Peeta Mellark from the Hunger Games. In a world where young people are forced to fight to the death for the amusement of the elite, Peeta stands out as a beacon of hope and humanity. From the moment we meet him in the Hunger Games, we see that he is a kind and compassionate person who cares deeply for others. Despite the brutality and savagery of the games, Peeta never gives up on his humanity. He shows us that even in the darkest of times, love and compassion can prevail. Throughout the series, we watch as Peeta grows and matures, becoming a symbol of the human spirit's ability to endure and overcome even the most difficult of circumstances. His bravery and selflessness inspire those around him to be better people, and his story reminds us that no matter how bleak things may seem, there is always hope for a better future. Number 2. Han Solo from Star Wars. Han Solo is one of the most iconic characters in cinematic history. A smuggler and a rogue with a heart of gold, he is best known for his role in the original Star Wars trilogy. Han is a charming and charismatic character who is always ready with a witty remark or a daring plan. Despite his roguish ways, Han is a man of honor, and he always keeps his word. He is also fiercely loyal to his friends and would do anything to protect them. Han is a true hero who rises to the occasion when it matters the most. His bravery and quick thinking helped the Rebel Alliance defeat the Galactic Empire and restore freedom to the galaxy. No. 1. Faramir from Lord of the Rings. Faramir is the son of Denethor, the steward of Gondor, and the brother of Boromir. He is a noble and heroic figure who plays a crucial role in the defense of Gondor against Sauron's forces. Unlike his brother, Boromir, Faramir is wise enough to resist the temptation to use the One Ring for his own purposes. Instead, he recognizes its evil and seeks to destroy it. Faramir is a skilled warrior and a wise leader who commands the respect of his soldiers. He is also a compassionate and honorable man who treats his enemies with respect. Faramir is a tragic figure who suffers greatly during the course of the story. But his courage and his commitment to his people never waver. He is a true hero who sacrifices everything to protect the free peoples of Middle-earth. So that's my definitive ranking of my favorite male characters in fiction. Who are some of your favorite male characters? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.